You were born in Alabama, but then moved to Georgia. Is that how it works?
Yeah. I mean, as if we're in charge of that. You know,
I
was
know,
like
right.
a year old.
I know, right?
I was, born in a one bedroom trailer, with my mom and my dad, and I think my mom's sisters lived with them for a little while, and then moved to Atlanta,
to Georgia, to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So
Atlanta.
now your team growing up there would be
the
what?
Atlanta Braves. I mean, the tomahawk chopping, baseball popping, ain't no stopping. Like during the '90s. I mean, but it's like Dale Murphy. Back in the day.
Murphy.
Fulton County Stadium and all of that.
Did you go to Fulton County? Did you see some games?
Oh
there?
God, yeah. It was, I mean, where I grew up. I grew up in a little town just west of Atlanta. It was kind of the last area to really kind of be developed or consumed by Atlanta. So it was still, a small town. But you had God and barbecue and football. You know? And I mean, you had baseball as well. But that was it was a big trip to go to the Fulton County Stadium and watch the Braves play.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Dale Murphy was your guy, huh?
Yeah, of course. And Bob Horner.
Bob Horner.
Yeah, third baseman.
Of course.
I can't even believe that I remember that name.
No, I had about 1 million Bob Horner baseball cards.
Oh,
and then
wow.
But Dale Murphy was a special player, man.
A special player.
I
I think he did this commercial. I just remember, I don't know, I might be wrong, but
Okay.
I remember seeing Dale Murphy do these commercials for Canette ice cream.
Okay.
I don't,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, TBS was a big deal. Like, that's where the Braves played. It was 7:05 is when the game started. And
Marshall Faulk grew up in the New Orleans area, one of the greats of all time, and he grew up a Braves fan because the Superstation reached all the way across the Southeast and then the Gulf South. I mean, so many Braves fans in places far away from Georgia because of that Superstation.
Cities that didn't have teams, right, always had the Braves, and I think that's the reason why their moniker was the America's team.
America's team. I remember all that. And then, obviously the Glavine, Smoltz, Maddox era, the Bobby Cox era.
Unbelievable. I mean, well, the moment where Sid Bream scored on that Francisco Cabrera. Cabrera, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was with, all of my friends. I was living out here at the time.
Right.
But happened to kind of be back there for that experience and watched it in Buckhead, this little bitty area in Atlanta, right? Before it changed, back when it was
back when Buckhead was an outpost.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. And it was extraordinary. It was just what that moment, what sports does for people, man. It's really extraordinary.
It brings everyone together, and obviously, Atlanta fans so starving. The Falcons coming so close in the Super Bowl, up 28-3 a couple of years ago, and and Chris is what. Your girlfriend, your partner, your life partner, about to give birth to a child. She's a diehard Atlanta and Georgia sports fan. So it's funny. I've got a list of names of Atlanta sports fans, sports names that we've been joking he's going to name his child after. Interesting that some of the names you have mentioned are on
this list. Because also when I lived in Atlanta this year after I didn't graduate college, but like my summer break or whatever after my freshman year of college, I Valet parked for a club owned by Dominique Wilkins, and it was called Dominique's, and then I think it went to Evander Holyfield, and it was a super cool club in Atlanta, and it was just me. I manned the parking lot by myself, and man, I'm like, mate, I was making $700 a night.
Come on.
In 1990, man. I mean, it was extraordinary. Parking like literally 20 cars. And they all liked me. It was cool. And I just kind of hung out with their, all of their Benzes.
So did you take any for a joyride? You take any for a ride?
I mean, a couple, I'm sorry, Evander. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I took a couple around, but I had some great stories, and it was a place to be seen, man. It was a real kind of moment in Atlanta's history, and it was this one time that this guy. This is pre-cell phones, right? I mean, they had car phones, but they're the big car phones.
Yeah, sure.
And there was this guy, man, and he was just going back and forth in my lot, and I was really protective of my lot and protective of all these dudes' cars because they were paying me $50 a pop.
And it's Dominique Wilkins.
It's Dominique Wilkins, man.
Spot.
It's a cool club. Yeah. And he had this phone, and he was going back and forth with this loud music. And at one point in the night, he was still doing it, and the bouncer in the club ran out and said, "Call 911, call 911." A fight had broken out, and there was no phone around. So I saw this guy, and I went running up to him, and I said, "Dude, I got to use your phone. You got to call the police. You got to call the police. And he just looked and he said, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake. It was a fake phone. He'd been having fake conversations for an hour on this phone. I heard him having conversations out loud on this phone. It was fake.
So you called him out just because it's emergency.
And I didn't even mean to.
That's fantastic.
So stupid. Yeah. But it was great.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.